Hi, everybody. It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Got a news update for you today that is coming out. It's all about the possible restart dates for cruising out of North America. There's a lot of speculation right now. Will the CDC lift the no sail order? What are some of the cruise line people saying, and what kind of changes are we looking at? Lots happening there. We'll talk about it all in this video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, giving my videos thumbs ups, and sending me comments along the way. I appreciate that. Thank you for those of you who have joined the Traveling with Bruce group page on Facebook, and also joining us on Instagram with Traveling with Bruce. Thank you also for all your support for the RedBubble page for Traveling with Bruce. Pick yourself an item up with a TWB logo on it and help support my channel. Thank you all. Let's get into the story of the day. When will cruising begin? What's going to happen? How is it going to happen? Folks, it's all about the CDC. Without the CDC putting its green stamp on the restart date, everything remains in complete flux here. We just don't know. Right now, the no sail date lasts until July the 24th of 2020 this year. And this being June the 1st, we still are talking 7 more weeks of downtime before any cruising theoretically could begin, unless the CDC either moves up the date or moves back the date. And this is the proverbial question: will the CDC make changes to the no sail date? Right now, what most of us are waiting for as cruisers, travel agents and travel assistants, we're all wondering, what will the new cruising world be like when we get back into it? We're trying to find out whether the buffets are going to be changed and how. What about the capacity on board cruise ships? What will that be like? Will we have to wear masks, or will only the crew wear masks? Medical staff and equipment on board cruise ships. Will the CDC insist that there have to be a certain number of doctors for so many patients or passengers, or so many doctors and nurses for so many passengers? A lot of these kinds of questions are going to be asked. Testing. What about testing us at the port when we depart our trip? What about measuring our temperature or gauging our health during the cruise? What's it going to be like when we're on a ship for, say, a week, and in the third day we get off the ship at a country? Will we have to go through testing procedures to either get off the ship or get back on to our ship, and we're now in a different country altogether? We might be stranded. These are concerns everyone's going to have. What kind of health requirements do we have to pass before we can get on the ship at the beginning of our cruise? Will we need a health certificate? Will seniors need a note from their doctor? These are all to be determined, and everything is up in the air. The cruise lines are saying that they are developing protocols, but none have yet been officially released to the public and to travel advisors. So none of us know what kind of protocols are really going to be implemented. Something tells me that there will not be any protocols announced by the cruise lines until they negotiate with the CDC for what the protocols should be. And it might be that the CDC comes up with a list of protocols. The cruise lines will now maybe argue their point or counter with other proposals from their end and try to negotiate a deal. At the moment, as I'm speaking to you, the word is that the CDC has not yet even talked to the cruise lines about any new protocols whatsoever. We're talking about 7 weeks from the first theoretical sail date towards the end of July, and the two parties haven't even discussed the possibility of the future. So I tell you, whatever the new protocols are, something tells me the cruise lines are going to have to be ready in a moment's notice to implement them if this goes much longer. If we're talking another 3 or 4 weeks, and we're down to less than 30 days for new protocols, how will the cruise lines be able to be ready on time? Something tells me that there's going to be a delay for the new cruising starting going forward. The other news or rumor out there, I guess I'll put it as a rumor. The rumor has it, though, that the CDC will likely be extending the no sail order, and the date that is being whispered about is the end of August or September 1. So that no cruising will start until at least the first week of September. Now, I have heard cruise lines, various cruise lines, talking about starting up on a limited basis when they do start up. For example, Carnival's talking about using 8 ships. Norwegian is talking about 5. So even if it is the first week of September, only 5 of the Norwegian ships will be in play. Which ones, where, I don't know. How long the cruises will be, this is all up in the air. So here we are, the 1st of June. We're talking July, August, another 90 days, maybe. And that's assuming that the rumors are correct and that the date is correct. Keep in mind, Canada has already shut down cruising in Canada till the 1st of November, which essentially killed the 2020 season because there really are no cruises in Canada in November and December, January, February, or March. So the earliest date we're going to see cruising back in Canada is April 2021. Now, if the CDC extends their sail shutdown past September into October, that limits cruising now really to places like the Caribbean, Mexico, and some overseas one-way trips. But really, the one-way trips are going to be Europe back to the U.S., if there are any trips in Europe at all. So lots of uncertainty. Questions that we have, we'd love to get answered. We just don't know how it's going to work out. A lot of protocols have to be negotiated. On the other hand, there may not be any negotiation. It might well be that the CDC says, these are the new rules. Follow them or don't sail. No discussion. End of discussion. Frank Del Rio, president of Norwegian, was saying that there is no safer place to be than anywhere in the world than on a cruise ship. He wants the restrictions lifted immediately. He would like to get back to business right now. He is buying into the notion that we should just go right back to normal as before, and we'll put protocols in place to minimize the ability of the virus to spread. I don't see the CDC playing ball in that court. I just don't see them wanting to be part of that type of a deal. I have a suspicion that it'll be much more restrictive than non-restrictive, and the CDC has their reasons. We still do not see the numbers falling dramatically in the United States, for example, and we have noticed also that cases of this illness are still rising in certain parts of the world, stable in others, but not falling off a cliff across the board. And so the worry is that this virus is still a little too prevalent. And with cruising being an international business and having a cruise ship with 3,000 or 4,000 people on board, you may have 1,000 of those 2,000 or 3,000 coming from overseas. The CDC has no way to know where those folks have been in the last 30 days prior to this cruise, and neither do the countries that these cruise ships are going to visit. So there's a lot of uncertainty here, and I am in the camp of it's going to be longer rather than sooner before we really see cruising begin again, and even then it's going to be on a very limited basis. Unfortunately, that's just the way I see it. Anyway, there you have it. That's kind of my take on it today. That's the latest from here. Join me tonight, Monday night, for my live show, 7 o'clock for sponsor members, 8 o'clock for the big show, and look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye for now.